Om Sadashivasamaramabham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryyantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. Any other questions? One question is about that razor's edge. Any other questions? Okay. The statement a razor's edge is.
Swamiji,
Yeah.
I have a doubt.
Okay.
Verse 12.
Verse 10.
No, verse 12.
12th. Okay.
See the
Yeah.
Esha Sarveshu Bhuteshu Gudo Atmana Prakashate. There is the Atman, it is hidden in all beings.
Yeah.
That means
Yeah.
what exactly it means?
Okay. Both the questions I'll handle. Any other thing?
In the last class, you asked us to meditate on verse 315. Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam.
Yeah, I'll come to that. I'm going. I just introduced the topic last time. I had not elaborated. I'll elaborate it this time. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Since there is nothing else, let's start. The 12th verse first. Esha sarveshu bhuteshu gudatma na prakashate. Says the self is hidden. In what way hidden? Out of sheer ignorance. The self is very self-evident, isn't it? I know I am. Nobody has a doubt about that. I am is very evident. But what I am, that everything I seek, everything is myself, that I am the limitlessness I seek, I don't know. Therefore, hidden, etc., is a way of presenting it. That I don't know. Though it is very evident I am, I don't know what I am. It's hidden because of ignorance, not anything else. It is not a real hiding, like taking something and putting it in a secret place. It is not that type of hiding. The hiding here is sheer in terms of self-ignorance. I don't know what I am. Even though I am self-evident, I am. What I am is unknown. And because of that, I further complicate the issue by making self-judgments on basis of what I am associated with. Body, mind, etc. Therefore, now I have a well-entrenched notion about what I am. And what I really am is now completely hidden, lost. This is what is meant by Gudatma. Yeah. It is hidden in terms of your self-judgment, in terms of your ignorance first, and then ramified by all your notions about yourself, your self-judgments about yourself. Clear, Vijay?
Yes, Swamiji.
Okay.
But
Yeah?
this Buddhya Darshyate, that it is Buddhya Darshyate means with intellect it is.
Yep. It has to be seen by a very subtle, sharp, by a viveki, by a reasoning which has got a lot of viveka in it, by your intellect, which has got a lot of viveka, and of course the pramana, the teaching available to you. Both together you will see it. We have been fed too many stories about it being beyond the mind, etc. That is a problem. That's why we can't accept it has to be seen by the intellect. The Upanishad is full of statements of the type manasa eva anudrashtavyam. By the mind alone it has to be known. It has to be seen agraya buddhya. It has to be known by the mind. What is beyond the mind has to be known by the mind. Upanishad is full of statements like that. But for public consumption, we have been talking beyond, beyond, beyond. Therefore, people are confused about it.
Understood.
Yeah,
Understood, Swami.
it is hidden as the eye. Once you are saying it is hidden as the eye, how can it be beyond? In Timbuktu, beyond means somewhere else. No? The basic understanding of beyond is what? Somewhere else. Unless you are giving your own meaning to the words, okay? By saying, no, beyond is like this, beyond is like that. Then you can go and talk to beyonds, that will be better. Yeah.
So that is why it is said as Buddha, what? Buddha. That is why
Yeah.
Sarva Bhutteshu
Yeah.
Buddha Ekaha Atma. So that is why it is said or what? That
Yeah, because then every being has a sense of I, no? But what that I is not known by anyone. How can they know? With elaborate teaching, it becomes difficult for people to get it. Two problems. One is called avarnam, ignorance, hiding the truth. The other is vikshepa. Vikshepa means your wrong notions, not agitations. Vikshepa is not agitation. Okay. Oh, vikshepa is agitation, therefore quieten the mind. From a restless idiot to a quiet idiot. But idiot you are. Vikshepa is your self-judgments, your projections, your wrong conclusions. Those have to be negated. Yeah. That's why we have logic like Drigdrishya Viveka, Avastatraya Viveka, etc. All this is meant to negate your wrong notions. Then what the self is has to be revealed. And to get that, this has to be sharp. You'll be able to catch the fine nuances. Yeah. Otherwise, your understanding will remain very block understanding. And you will end up as a bloke. Not any wiser. Okay. Yeah. So there is where the whole thing is. You need that sharp intellect. You need the pramana, the means of knowledge, which is in the form of the teaching. Both together, it will work. And of course, you need a live guru to teach. Yeah. You can say someone whom you knew before, who had a samadhi, is my guru. You can say that, of course. Nothing wrong in that. But if you need to know the truth, you must go and listen to a live teacher. That's important. Yeah. There are many among us who will say, Swami Chinmayanji was my teacher, Swami Dayananji was my guru. Fine. Great. Whom are you learning from? If you know the truth, no problems. If you don't know the truth, you have to learn from someone. Yeah. That's why there is always a parampara. Yeah. The parampara. That's why the parampara becomes important. Because you need live teaching. Yeah. Not listening to videos, audios. Those are poor substitutes. They help. Once you are listening to something, you are listening to the audio again or the video again, it helps. Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, I need not take a class. At my leisure, I can just create videos and put it up whenever I have the time. It won't work. Even this medium, online, I am not happy with. Yeah. True teaching has to be live, face to face. Yeah. How this class I can make face to face, I really don't know. Maybe once a month, somewhere I can start. But I'll have to meet up at least in 2-3 places. Once a month. Yeah, because this class is a spread out class. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. We'll do that sometime. Therefore, good Atma. Okay, that is one thing. Then the question of the razor's edge. Okay, Shurasya Dhara. When you are walking on a razor's edge, how will you walk? Supposing you have to walk on the edge of a sword. You have to be very, very careful, alert. One misstep, one putting too much of weight. Your steps have to be light and strong, well balanced, not get distracted here and there. So he says this learning is the same way. The learning is the same. You have to be very alert, very focused, not get distracted. I thought people listening from home, they won't get distracted. But I think the distractions are more at home. Maid asking you something, your dog coming in, cat coming in, all sorts of stuff. Yeah. Other people coming in and asking you something or the other. Yeah. Anyway, whatever it is, you have to ensure that the disturbance is not a disturbance. It's up to you. You by being alert and focused. The more focused you are, the less the disturbances. Yeah. The more awareful you are, the less the disturbances. So keep these things in mind, and then you are fine. That's why the whole example of the razor's edge, etc., was written. And that is why Somerset Maugham wrote that book also, called The Razor's Edge, because it's describing the life of a seeker. Yeah. And how he decided to live his life afterwards. Yeah. Of course, he himself admits there is a lot he doesn't understand about the whole thing. But it is a good book. As a story, what it takes. It's a good book in terms of seeing how unorthodox people can also get to know the truth. Because there is nothing like orthodoxy in that book. Yeah. So that's why on the basis of that, for a Vedic Wisdom Festival, we decided to have one topic, Vedanta without borders, to hear about 3 teachers of Vedanta from all over the world, and the pros and cons of teaching Vedanta in different cultures. Because we all have the feeling we have to be Indian culture to know it. Preferably Brahminical culture. I find so many things on the net saying things like that. Not that anybody really does. He says, oh, you have to be a Brahminical culture. You have to live in that. You have to do Agnihotram, etc. Only then you will know the truth. All this nonsense I hear, I see. Though in Brahma Sutras, the word Athato Brahma Jignasa, in that sutra, Shankara dismisses all that ideas. But the many people who write about those things don't have that much of learning anyway. Yeah. So I said, okay, let us give them a taste of Vedanta without borders. Yeah. Yeah. So then the whole thing comes into that. Being what comes into is only Viveka, Vairagya, etc., Samadama, the Shat Sampatti, and being very alert and focused. Focused. We think a sannyasi requires more focus. The sannyasi has the focus. Householders require more focus. Why? There are 10 things pulling at them every day, na? There are 10 things pulling at you every day. So how not to lose focus and all of that? Yeah. And not that if you are a retired person, the pull is less. I see in all the South Indian mamas and mommies. Retired means every blooming relative's wedding they will go. They have not seen them for 20 years, but they will go. No, after all, relative, no. You're time structuring, that's all you're doing. What we call time pass activities. Of course, nice to see all of them. Like once I made a trip to my village because all my relatives were threatening to die before they saw me. I have not seen them for 15 years. So once I remember in 98 or something, I took a camp to Coimbatore, so get all my students exposed to Swamiji. And then in between 2 days, I hopped into my village in Kerala, close from Coimbatore. Yeah. So that I could see all of them before they passed over. Yeah. So something like that is a different thing. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, each has to decide what is your focus. The problem is many people are not focused on moksha. They don't know what it is about. Even though they are brought up in very orthodox culture, Vedanta is not something they are, oh, Adilam Vedanta Mappa. We don't want. As though something too terrifying. This is out of ignorance. It is called Abhaye Bhaya Darshinaha. In what will give you fearlessness, you are being afraid of that. Abhaye Bhaya Darshinaha. Anyway, so to be alert, to be focused, and have your Viveka, Vairagya, Mumukshutvam, Shat Sampatti, etc. That's all it takes. Yeah. Not other things. Yeah. Other things are meant to develop these attitudes, etc. The focus, etc. Viveka, Vairagya, etc. And since they are finite things, it can be done in 100 different ways. Kartum shakyam, akartum shakyam, anyatha va akartum shakyam. Can be done, need not be done, can be done in 100 different ways. So what's important is getting Viveka, Vairagya, etc. Once you gain that, that is all that matters. Okay. Is that clear about the razor's edge? Okay. Then he had gone to the other verse. We had just seen this thing. He says, the next verse, each word is actually indicating the Atma. Ashabdam. In fact, take the whole group of words. Ashabdam, no sound, meaning it's not an object of your ear, sense organ. Asparsham, can't be touched, not an object of the sense organ of touch. Arupam, no form, not an object of the sense organ of sight. Avyayam, indeclinable. It's not something that will keep changing in time. Tatha arasam, cannot be tasted. Nityam agandaschayat, no smell. After a bout of exercise, you may stink, but the Atma doesn't have a stink, okay? Meaning, it is not an object of the senses, nor does it own up any of the senses. Nor does it own up. Therefore, it is not something that you can be objectified. Meditate on a blue light in the core of your heart. Revade, revade. You meditate on the anahat sound. What is anahat sound? The sound of your digestion? Or what? If you had a lot of beans, etc. I am not saying all these things are not there. In the Mithya world, everything is possible. But that's not the Atma. Okay? That's not the Atma. Okay? Anadi anantam. Anadi anantam. No beginning, there no end. No beginning, no, what is beginning and end? No beginning, no end. No beginning, no end. In all directions. Limitlessness itya. Limitlessness iti. No beginning, no end means limitless. Okay, I think I'm back. Can you all hear me now? Okay.
Yes, Swami.
Okay.
Yes.
So, each word, asabdam, asparsham, etc., presents this as not an object of your sense organs. Okay. Just that. Yeah. Okay. So Ashabdam, Asparsham, etc. It talks about the fact that not an object of your sense organs. Then Anadi Anantam, limitlessness. Mahata Param, it's higher than the cosmic mind. Because your mind, etc. What about the cosmic mind? The cosmic mind is also a manifestation of the consciousness alone. Therefore, Mahata Param, Mahata Param. Okay, Dhruvam, always the same, steady. Dhruvam means to be steady, to be rock steady. Meaning what? It's always the same, no change. Nothing changes it. Dhruvam. Then, Nichaya tan nrityamukat pramuchyate. Nichaya. Okay. Nichaya. Nischitena jnatam. By knowing it definitely, clearly, mrityumukhat pramuchyate. You are free from the idea of birth and death. Okay. Mrityumukhat. Why? Because you are limitlessness. What birth and death is there? There is neither birth nor death. It is not that you will become immortal. You discover that you are immortal. There is never a time you are a mortal. Your mortality is a mistaken notion, a self-judgment based on your body and mind. That's all that is there to it. Okay. So, in this, now somebody had asked, can this also be a meditation? It can. Okay. That's not an object for the senses, but that because of which the senses can objectify. Yes, you can use it for the contemplation, etc. Anadi Anantam, it can be used. There are good verses to be used for contemplation also. In fact, any verse which reveals what the Atma is can also be used for contemplation, provided you have got insights into the truth by Shravanam. Without Shravanam, if you are trying to contemplate, you will pick up concepts. Okay. Even though in teaching we are careful not to create concepts, still people create concepts. When I ask people to talk or write something, how much they conceptualize? Why do you conceptualize? Because all your learning was like that. So you have to learn to drop concepts and. Yeah. So how do we learn to drop concepts? How do we learn? By trying to hold opposite ideas in your mind. Seeing the truth of completely opposite ideas. This is one way. Another way, easier way, more fun way, listen to a lot of jokes and appreciate the joke without needing an explanation. If you need a joke to be explained to you, your mind is too conditioned, okay? So then if your mind is too conditioned that even appreciating jokes are a problem, then what do? Start doing everything you do differently. Yeah. Break all the routines that you have. Challenge every notion that you have. Every belief system you have in terms of your functioning. Start there. Challenge it. But this is all right, no? I am not interested in what is right and wrong. I am only interested in breaking your concepts. That very argument, but this is right and this is how to do it, shows your conceptualizing. Nothing is absolutely right or wrong. There are certain universals. Right and wrong is not absolute. There are certain universal principles that are subject to interpretation. So that's it. So break those notions. Yes, Swamiji, very clear. I don't have any notions. That's the first notion that you need to break. All of us are full with a lot of notions. Okay. In this classical case of this Tambram I knew, poor, in this class Tambram becomes the example. Now what can I do about it? This guy was in Chennai. Very strict Tambram with Namam and everything, Very this thing. At home or in the office, he will not eat onion and garlic and anything. That's strict. But every evening, he used to take the rick home. He used to take a rickshaw home. And there was this medical shop outside which I was standing because I was waiting for my friend to pick up his medicine and come. By the side of this medical shop, there was a wine shop. And I am standing there, waiting for my friend to come. And as usual, I am seeing what's happening, observing things. So I see this Tambram coming with Nama. Stop the rickshaw there. Go straight to the counter. I said, interesting. Go straight to the counter. He picks up money, puts it on the counter. That character gives him a quarter and a glass. Small bottle of quarter and a glass. Pours it, one gulp. 4 shots. Gets back into the rickshaw and goes. But you will swear at home. Oh no, I'm strict Brahmana. Now look at the contradiction here. You're a strict Brahmana, you won't touch onion and garlic, but alcohol is okay for you. I'm not joking. I won't mention the name of the guy. I found out the name of the guy later on because he had happened to land up to see Swamiji. And he didn't know I seen him. Because he was too focused on the drink.
Sorry, it is like Jain chicken that is available.
Exactly, Jain chicken. No, I mean, come on. So, what I am trying to say is break concepts and don't get conditioned by things. Then you will understand Vedanta better. And if you have a problem, etc., with certain things, don't deny those things. Don't be in denial. Accept the fact, hey, in this area I have some problems, so big deal. It's okay. I'll deal with it. If I need help, I'll need help. It's okay. Fine. Yeah. Okay. Shayat and pramukhat pramuchyate. Okay, that is that. Then what? Nachiketam upakhyanam mrityorpoktam sanathanam uktva shrutva cha medhavi brahmaloke mahiyate. Falashruti, like literally. Nachiketam upakhyanam. Nachiketam, not Nachiketam, Nachiketam, meaning about Nachiketa. It's the peculiarity of Sanskrit grammar. Nachiketam, Nachiketam, about Nachiketam. Okay? Upakhyanam, the whole story. In all detail with what all Yama talked, etc. All of that. Mrityoho proktam, that has been talked about by Mrityu, has been revealed by Sanathanam. Why? It deals with that which is Sanathanam. Okay. Tanam literally is used to indicate day, Adyatanam, today. Sanathanam, meaning always. Okay. Sanathanam, always. Therefore, Sanathanam, Uktva, having, talking about it. Shrutva, after having heard. Okay. Cha Medhavi, if you are hearing about it, talking about it, and you are a Medhavi. Medha Shakti, your thinking capacity is good. Yeah. Intelligent person. Refined thinking is there. Thinking doesn't depend whether you have a doctorate or not. Are you a thinker? That's what matters. Okay. Medhavi. Brahmaloke mahiyate. Mahiyate, he revels or is glorified. Where? Brahmaloke. Meaning going up to Brahmaloka? No. Brahma eva lokaha Brahmalokaha. You recognize everything that is there is nothing but Brahman. That is called Brahmaloka. There is a loka called Brahmaloka also. That's a different thing. Okay. That is the idea of Krama Mukti. Here we are not talking about that. Here, because why? Medhavi. He is intelligent enough to understand and retain what he knows. Therefore, if he has listened to the teaching, Brahmeva lokaha tesham mahiyate. All that is there is Brahman alone. In that Brahman alone, he revels, he stated, his nishtha is in that Brahman. Then, as a consolation, you talk about Brahma Loka also, because you have listened to Vedanta, etc. But you didn't get your nishtha, therefore you will go to Brahma Loka, and there you will have to work on your nishtha there. But if you think there are distractions here on earth, there are much more distractions there in heaven, okay? In Brahmaloka you will find much more distractions of much refined distractions. Okay? Yeah. Plus not having the limitations of this body and mind. Plus not subjected to the local dharma here. Therefore it is huge, okay? It's not going to be easier in Brahmaloka. I think it's going to be more tougher in Brahmaloka. That's Krama Mukti. Yeah. This thing given so that people are okay with it. But why put it off? Brahmaloke mahiyate, Brahma eva lokaha. Yeah, that's what Shankara also handles it here as that. Okay, in Brahmaloka, the world, there is nothing but Brahman, mahiyate. He revels in that, he states in that, he becomes glorified in that. Okay. Yeah. Glorified, hey, you are your own glory, okay? Others may not glorify you. You think every wise person is glorified or what? With all the leftists and the liberals and the woke people. Yeah. No. You are your own glory. Okay, okay, mahiyate. All right. Then he says, Ya imam paramam guhyam shravayed brahma samsiddhi prayata shraddha kaleva tad anantyaya kalpate iti. Ya imam paramam guhyam. This paramam guhyam. Why guhyam? Because Atma Jnanam is always to be revealed to you. There is no way anybody is going to suspect I am limitless. Why? Every experience of mine is limited. Every experience of mine rams home the fact that I am a limited entity. And that's why I am seeking fulfillment. I am seeking more than my limitation. Therefore, with all that, there is no way I am going to think I am the limitless. In fact, with teaching, elaborate teaching, it becomes difficult for people to understand and accept it as a fact. Okay. Therefore, Gukhyam, it has to be revealed. Since it has to be revealed, okay, it has to be revealed, Gukhyam, Shravayed. Who listens to that? Who listens to that? Brahma Samsadi. Okay. In an assemblage of Brahmanas. Now, who is a Brahmana? Another big question. There is a Upanishad that deals with it. It talks about birth, guna, this, that. It says nothing. It says none of this makes a Brahmana. Then who's a Brahmana? Brahma Jnanat Brahmana. By knowledge of Brahman, you become a Brahmana. That's the real ultimate definition of a Brahmana. One who has discovered I am Brahman, he is a Brahmana. Okay. Then none of the priests will qualify for that. Okay. Therefore, you have classification of 4 Varna classification we have. All this agitation going on for backward class, this class, that class, etc., etc. That's all a mischief done by the colonial rulers. According to the colonial rulers, there were 18 castes in India. They were not castes, they were guilds. I said this before. They were guilds by profession. Okay. Kumbhar was not a Kumbhi or Kumbhar was not a caste, it was a profession, it is a guild. British mischief, they translated it as caste. It is, I calling it mischief because they had the same concept of guilds in England at the same time. There they were calling it guilds, here they called it caste. And our politicians are still using the same thing. Yeah. You want to find out how many castes are there, how many people are saying increase reservations. Reservations actually according to the constitution is supposed to be phased out. They were meant only for 10 years as a chance to catch up for people who were exploited, because there was exploitation. Let us not say there was no exploitation. There was. Okay. Yeah. Then the question became, like we saw in the Gita, Guna Karma Vibhagaha, for those who have missed that part, by Guna and Karma. Karma classification will always be there in any society, you can't avoid it, depending upon your job. Are you a priest, are you an intellectual, are you a teacher, etc. Brahmana. Ruling, law and order, warrior, Kshatriya. Trade, commerce, industry, etc. Vaishya. Service to, hands and legs for the above functioning, Shudra. Therefore, all of us are Shudras because we all work for someone. Okay. We all work for someone. No, I work for Amazon. Okay, you work for Amazon. Put your hands and legs for Amazon. I'm an MBA. But working for someone. Anyway, jokes apart, karma division, guna division. In the Upanishad, it is a guna division that is always important. Sattva guna pradanaha brahmanaha. Predominantly sattvic people. Though when you see some of the priests, there is nothing sattvic about them, lazy, indolent, fat characters. Yeah. Sattva guna pradana. Predominantly sattvic with rajas backing it up, tamas little bit, enough so that you can go to sleep, etc. Or predominantly rajasic with sattva backing it up. Therefore, kshatriya. Yeah, predominantly rajasic. Hey. Why? Because you are dealing with war, Baba. Yeah. You can't say, I am humble, noble guy. This is war. Humble, noble, ghar mein rakho. Yeah. Here you have to do difficult things. Yeah. Or Kshatriya, but tamas in the second place. Rajasic, but tamas in the second place. Sattva behind. Become good traders, etc. All your competitiveness, etc., you will bring into your trade, your business, etc. Or tamoguna pradanaha, lazy, indolent, etc. Shudra. Therefore, as far as Vedanta is concerned, it is always the gunas that matter. Therefore, when you say a Brahmana went to study, you mean sattva guna pradana. Yeah. You always mean that. Okay. Therefore, here he says Brahma samsadi in the assemblage of Brahmanas. Here you can take karma Brahmanas also. But Krishna never mentions that any time Janma Brahmana. Janmataha Brahmana, it doesn't. Then people bring in an explanation. No, he is born in a Brahmin family because his past karma was like that. Therefore, he is supposed to pick up this karma also the same. Revade, Revade. That is giving 35% marks. Grace marks to pass. Okay. Okay. Brahma Samsiddhi, Karma Brahmana. Prayataha Shraddha Kale. Shraddha Kale. Prayataha, when someone is expired and there is a Shraddha ceremony going on. So it's good to read the Kathopanishad. Okay. Shraddha Kaleva. That means it can be immediately after death or the annual Shraddha that you do. Shraddha Kale. Shraddha Kaleva. Tad Anantyaya Kalpate. Tad Anantyaya Kalpate. Then what? People become fit for Anantam, immortality. Why? Because there is some amount of Vairagya when you are talking about death. Some thinking of higher things happening. Okay. For the Karma Brahmana, it is just a job. चलो चलो जल्दी करो मेरे को और अभी इसका बाद शादी में जाना है. That's why we are trying to keep the people who do the Shraddha ceremonies and the people who do marriage ceremonies slightly different. But whatever. Okay. He says Anantyaya Kalpate. Not for the, okay, even for the one who is gone, they will say Anantyaya Kalpate. Why? After death, for some days, because of your attachment, you are still around. You are still not gone on your journey. Why? Because you are too attached to this place. You are not yet to the people, to the place, etc. Not ready to move on. That's why the Shraddha ceremony, etc. for 14 days become important. Then right time read the Kathopanishad. Then the guy will be brought back to him. Hey, I am actually meant for moksha, not to get caught up in all this. Anyway, my body is gone. I can't go back here. Let me move forward. And hopefully, Anantyaya Kalpate, thoda samskar ho jayega. Arey, that boy Nachiketa was a great Vairagi. I have been there, done that, done everything. Still, I don't have Vairagya. Let me develop some Vairagya. Correct, hai na? 80-year-old guy dies. You ask this 80-year-old guy, Mama, what happened to you? I'm feeling lonely, I'm alone, etc. Why don't you get married? Who will give me a girl? At 80, you want to fresh man? Well, if you want, you want. You have a freedom of choice, nobody denying that. But the idea is, you have been there, done that. Na? Thoda vairagi aa jao, move on. Move on for moksha, etc. That's why in the ashrama dharmas, the last stage is always sannyasa for everyone. Why? Only this moksha pursued, nothing else. Therefore, here also it is said for the person who is gone, thoda anantyaya kalpate, thoda samskar ho jayega. It will be good. For the people who are doing all this thing, etc., definitely that's a good time for some samskara to go in. Yeah. Hopefully. Why? Because if it is too much of grief, the samskara won't happen. But at least you will see, there is something more, there is something higher. Maybe I should pursue that later. Hopeful. That's why Anantyaya Kalpate. Iti Kata Upanishad Pratamadhyaye Tritiya Valli. Okay. The first chapter of Kathopanishad is over and done with. Then the second chapter has to start. Any questions up to now, or is all clear? Along with the chanting of Kathopanishad, it's also one chapter of the Gita that is chanted. Anyone remembers which chapter it is?
8th chapter.
8th chapter, yeah. 8th chapter. Why 8th chapter?
Because of the Kramamukti.
Yeah.
Kramamukti.
That also talks about, what happens after death, etc. Then they will read the Garuda Puranam also. These are the things that's read. Garuda Puranam is like the Tibetan book of living and dying, Tibetan book of the dead. It's similar to that. Okay, I think it is taken from Tibetan book of the dead, was taken from Garuda Purana, but Garuda Purana can be a bit graphic in its descriptions. Very graphic in descriptions about heaven, hell, etc. So, a toned down version is Tibetan book of the dead. Okay.
Swamiji talks about moksha and all, Vedanta.
Not, no. It talks about what happens after death, etc. Moksha a little bit idhar udhar, but not much. Yeah, not much. He'll give you some apata jnanam. All Puranas give you only a general knowledge about it. Yeah. That's why among all the Puranas that you are going to read, the best to read is the Bhagavatam. Okay. Yeah. That's why in the Vedic Wisdom Festival we are having someone who is going to talk on the Bhagavatam also. Just to give the others who have not been exposed to Bhagavatam some general idea about it. Okay. So you find, please register for it, okay? You find a lot of interesting things happening. Yeah. So that is where the whole thing is. Now, he had said the Atma is hidden. Correct? Okay. Gudaha, which he had said that in the which verse was that? 10th verse, yeah. 10th verse it was said, his Atma was hidden. How is it hidden, how to know, etc. He deals with in the second chapter. The second chapter of the Kathopanishad deals with how exactly, when you say hidden, what exactly do you mean? Why is it not evident? Why is it this, etc. All that it starts with. Very elaborately it does it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But I don't want to go into it now. We will go into that. If there are no questions, we will call it a day. We will go into this part of it next class. So that there is some continuity, you know. Now if I start, I can't even do one verse. Not even enough time for it. Yeah? Yeah.
If one is to summarize the first chapter into like maybe its main crux, what would you say that would be?
Atmajnanam. Okay, if one word, Atmajnanam. If it is more than that, what objectivity a student requires, the idea of Shreyas and Prayas, okay, then what is Atma about? The commitment to that and what the Atma is about. That's it. In 3-4 sentences, that's what it is. Therefore, it will be a good exercise to go over the verses, see the whole thing. I am not saying listen to all the videos, there are too many of them. But go over the verses, and if you have any doubts, listen to the video. Or check up with me next class. The videos are put up so that people can refer to them whenever necessary. If and when necessary, you can refer. You don't have to listen to every video again. Unless you want to, then you are most welcome to. But if you have any, if you have forgotten something, not if you have a mere doubt, if you have forgotten something, what exactly did this verse, what did this verse mean, I am not very clear about it, then definitely refer to that.
Right.
Yeah, then definitely refer to that, okay, it will help. Now that that is available, a tool is available, let us make use of it. Even though I am not very happy with it, I am not saying we should not use it. Like this, it is useful. Okay. Yeah. Any questions or all clear?
So next class will not be there on 10?
Yeah, the second chapter we will start next class. Yeah. Next class is on. We will see. I will reconfirm whether you want the class after that. Yeah. 10th, Dhanteras, we will have it. By 17th, of course, everything is over. Diwali is over. Okay. So let me see how many people land up on the 10th. Then we will see. Okay. Good place to stop. Om Tat Sat.